The hidden psychological struggle of Anne Frank. The human brain was never designed to live in hiding for 2 years, especially not the brain of a 13-year-old girl. No stepping outside, no running freely, no speaking loudly during the day. Every sound had to be controlled. Every movement had to be careful. For most people, the difficulty of Anne Frank's situation is easy to imagine physically. But the deeper question is psychological. How does a young mind survive constant fear, isolation, and confinement for 2 years? Because when the brain is placed under extreme conditions like this, something unusual begins to happen. The mind starts changing its own patterns just to survive. And understanding those psychological adaptations reveals something powerful about the human mind. When a person lives under danger, the brain activates its survival system. At the center of this system is a small structure called the amygdala. Its job is simple: detect threats, keep you alive. When danger appears, the amygdala sends signals throughout the body. Heart rate rises, attention sharpens, the body prepares for action. This system works well in short bursts, but it was never designed to stay active for months or years. Living in hiding meant that the brain remained in a constant state of alertness. Every unfamiliar sound downstairs could trigger fear. Every unexpected knock could mean discovery. Psychologists call this chronic stress. And chronic stress slowly reshapes the way the brain processes emotions. Small problems feel bigger, emotions become more intense, thoughts become harder to quiet. But fear was only one part of the psychological struggle. Because isolation creates a very different challenge for the human mind. Human brains evolved for movement, exploration, and social interaction. We are meant to experience changing environments, different places, different people. Inside a hidden attic, those experiences disappear. The same rooms, the same walls, the same small group of people. Day after day, month after month. Psychologists refer to this as environmental restriction. When the outside world becomes limited, the brain begins turning inward. Thoughts become deeper, emotions become stronger, self-reflection increases. And that shift explains something important about Anne Frank's behavior during those 2 years. She wrote constantly. At first glance, writing may seem like a simple habit. But psychologically, it was something much more powerful. Writing gave the mind a place to release thoughts that could not be spoken out loud. In psychology, this is known as expressive writing. Modern research shows that writing about emotions helps organize thoughts and regulate stress. It gives the brain a way to process experiences instead of suppressing them. And inside an environment where freedom was restricted, this simple act became a psychological coping mechanism. But there was another internal struggle happening at the same time. One that is rarely discussed. Anne Frank was not just hiding from danger. She was also growing up. Adolescence is the stage when the brain begins asking deeper questions. Who am I? What do I believe? What kind of person will I become? Psychologists call this stage identity formation. Normally, teenagers explore identity through friendships, school, and independence. But inside the attic, those experiences were missing. Her world was limited. Her freedom was restricted. Yet the psychological process of growing up did not stop. Her mind was still expanding, even though her environment was shrinking. And this created a powerful internal tension. A young mind trying to understand life inside a world that refused to let her live freely. When humans face extreme hardship, the brain searches for meaning. This is not just philosophy, it is a psychological survival mechanism. Without meaning, suffering becomes overwhelming. But when the mind finds meaning in experience, it becomes easier to endure difficulty. Psychologists call this meaning-making. The brain builds narratives that help us understand our situation. And writing allowed Anne Frank to construct those narratives. Her diary became more than a record of events. It became a place where the mind could make sense of a confusing world. The story of Anne Frank is often remembered as a historical tragedy. But psychologically, it also reveals something deeper about the human mind. Even under fear, even inside confinement, the brain continues trying to adapt. It searches for expression, it searches for identity, it searches for meaning. These are not luxuries of comfort, they are basic psychological needs. And perhaps that is the most powerful lesson hidden inside those attic walls. Even when the outside world becomes silent and dangerous, the inner world of the mind continues to grow. Thoughts continue, questions continue, hope continues. And sometimes, those quiet reflections survive long after the darkness has passed.